And Bill, I saw a post that you shared on LinkedIn, and you always get my mind stirring and wondering. I'm like, And I saw the intelligent infrastructure economic zones. Can you tell us more about that? And I'd also love to hear more about where we are with electrification.
Sure. So the notion of intelligent infrastructure economic zones is one that's actually being driven collectively by the Autonomy Institute and Jeff DeCo. I work very closely with the Autonomy Institute, and what it's built on the fact that over the past 50 plus years, infrastructure has been just wildly thrown out. And now, when you look at the opportunity that we have, a generational opportunity based on the infrastructure bill and what it wants to drive in terms of transformation across the board. You're talking about taking what would be a regular pole and allowing it to be a neutral host platform. You're looking at the fiber that's being laid in all of these areas that is being put in for charging stations and other electrification projects actually be extended so that it increases the opportunity for inclusive broadband. So you're solving for digital equity. You're laying the backbone for the data to be driven from all of these EV chargers. You're putting in new infrastructure that has the smarts in it to let you know what's happening. We could move it to over time to a level 5 of autonomy and actually have it drive decisions. But the big part about it for me is it's going to drive economic development. You're going to create jobs. You're going to have inclusive communities. You're going to allow those that don't have these things to actually benefit from the infrastructure that's being put into the built environment. And so the notion of economic zones and public-private partnerships is a reality and not just a concept anymore. And SH 130 in Austin is a perfect example of that, where there's some odd 90 miles of road being laid with fiber and 5G and charging stations, and then along that, everyone that does not have equitable broadband is receiving that broadband. So I think it's a tremendous effort. I think it's a blueprint for the rest of North America to actually look at, watch, and get behind it, and it's replicable anywhere. So that's what that's about. Now, in terms of electrification, I think that as North America, I think we kind of thought it was going to be a little easier than it really is. When you look at the plans of what it could be once it's complete, it's awesome. I mean, there's areas of sustainability, so ESG goals are going to be met. Improved traffic, so that's going to happen. Autonomous vehicles, it supports all of these things, but we're starting with fleets of buses. These big heavy duty vehicles, so your AWS trucks and all of these other trucks are going to go electric. Once that happens, you need to have depots that can actually support this. But now this ties into whether or not the transformer is a shared transformer or is it a dedicated transformer? Are there distributed energy resources sitting behind that you'll want to manage and monitor? But I definitely see a huge push, and this is the year that the funding gets released. You're going to see some real activity over the next 2 to 3 years. The one thing that I do caution everyone about is supply chain. Supply chain is still just that, supply chain, and there are long lead times for some of these, we'll say, utility grade transformers that are wanting to be used for the depots. So there's movement, but there are definitely hurdles that we still continue to have to overcome.